number 2, do you rise to speak in favor or against the substitute?
Speak against the minority report.
You may proceed, sir.
Aldo Leon from South Florida Presbytery. I think that we need to differentiate between ecclesiological responses to violence and also the response of individuals in a society. Those things are very different. I also agree with the previous speakers saying that they condemned and think that we should speak against various acts of political violence, like some of the ones mentioned in January 6th. However, this statement would condemn the very existence of this country. There is Romans 13 in the Bible, and Romans 13 gives a legitimate sword-bearing authority to civil power, and civil power is not consolidated in a massive totalitarian singular figure, but God has given authority, civil authority, to many magistrates, the doctrine of the lesser magistrate, and furthermore, in many places, the power is in the governed, and so there is authority amongst multiple magistrates, there is a necessity to take up the sword in order to bring order and function in light of Romans 13. So I would appreciate if there was language in this that was explaining the lawful necessity for lesser magistrates and also anyone who has authority to be able to have a legitimate right to exercise violence in lieu of Romans 13. The previous speaker mentioned Ukraine. Yeah, I don't believe that Ukrainians or someone like myself who has roots from Cuba wants to hear that there is no legitimate reason for Christians under the lordship of Christ to exercise violence in their spheres of authority in the lesser magistrates and places of various jurisdictions. So I believe that this language, these statements, are very oversimplistic, and they don't take into account the legitimate necessity for people groups and lesser magistrates to pick up the sword in order to bring about God's order in his universe. And I also think this is very, very important to be clear about in light of the kind of country we live in now, with a leaning and a growing tendency for an overextended federal power that is seeking to not give credibility and legitimacy to other spheres of sovereignty, like the home, the family, the church, the localities. So in lieu of that, I agree with all the concerns about those expressions of violence. But I don't think it's wise for the PCA to make a statement like this that would literally undermine the very reason that we can make these statements in a country of this nature, because there were people that believe in God's universe there is an authority that is illegitimate at times that demands violence to be a solution for peace. So, in lieu of that, I speak against the minority report.
Microphone 7.